Buckle up. Well, hey, this is McCoy welcoming you back to another episode of the TPC podcast. Now, round four just finished, and round five has dropped recently. I think it was today, actually. But the Elite Eight are gone. The Elite Four are cometh, and they are the ones remaining. But how did it come about? So let's review the TPC matches that had happened this past week and get excited for the remaining matches. So the chosen tiers are as follows: Gen 6 Battle Spot Triples, Choice Chaos, Vanilla Gen 8 2v2 Doubles, and Gen 7 1v1 in a triples doubles 1v1 order. So you can imagine that these games went about as fast as a human bullet. So all three of these games went in. So all three of these metas were played to some amount in this round, although I think it was only one 2 game series and the rest are 3 game series. So this went about as coin flippy as you could expect. So first off, the matches as follows are Clastia versus Shadowmaster, and hey, these two actually get to play a game for once in their lives. So well done to them. They actually get to play in TPC and showcase what they can do. So triples. First of all, there was not really much to expect here. First off, there was the obvious Sylveon crit towards Kingdra, and then the rest were kind of just, Shadowmaster definitely had the better set of the two, and really it all came down to, hey, what can you really do? What's the most expected move that you're going to select in this case? Aside from Braviary's frustration, there was nothing really that surprised me, to be honest. Like, there's a Mach Punch, there's some Brave Birds, there's some pretty high spots in this thing. And of course, Shadowmaster won because he had like the better matchup. He was doing some damage along with his mines. Clastia thought that this was 3 versus 3, but no, this is 6 versus 6. And yeah, towards the end, Shadowmaster just had the better team, better set, and ultimately won. So that was nice, quick, and easy. Doubles came as a bit of a surprise because I thought Shadowmaster would have this, no doubt, considering that he has played a lot of doubles metas in TP Room Tours. Clastia, we didn't know this, but he also plays a lot of 2v2 as well. Um, so this one went about as quick as you would expect. This one was a bit of a dicey game, to be honest, for Shadowmaster because you would think, okay, he has Genesect and Zero Aura against Landers and Talonflame. Like, yeah, Talonflame could kill the Genesect and the Lando, but he has some things up his sleeve that allowed him to basically take on said mons. The thing is, he did a fake out on the Talonflame, which absolutely wasn't the right call. He should have faked out Lando so he can get a free Earthquake in, and Talonflame would just be left with Zero Aura to deal with, as Genesect wouldn't have anything to deal with this. Our Genesect would have something to deal with this, though, as you'll see in a bit. But Zero Aura definitely was needed. Take on Talonflame, didn't really expect that. Here's the Ice Beam, which hit and allowed itself to die quite easily, but he didn't care because he had Talonflame in the back so that he could Flare Blitz and ultimately win the game, Clastia style. And then the final game was 1v1. This one, and having played a lot of Gen V 1v1 in the past, you'll know that these things could end in like speed ties, or especially seeing the same sets every single time. This one, Charizard wasn't really the ideal pick because Tapu Lele absolutely breaks literally everything in Clastia's team, and Shadowmaster clearly had the type advantage overall. Even with Mega Charizard Y doing a Flame Charge, Tapu Lele just does quite enough in order to kill. But that actually was a roll, as you can see. As you can see right here, Tapu Lele had this set. Charizard had had a special defensive set in the IVs, but Shadowmaster actually had a quite the role. He actually got the OCO that he needed in order to win. The role was definitely in his favor. And yeah, Shadow Master won through sheer luck. Through sheer luck. There was nothing. There was the 18 point something chant, whatever. But Shadow Master won. Clastia didn't get to play games until like the last moment, so did Shadow Master, so he's lucky enough that he's in the top. Well deserved, as he says. Next up, Precorfish versus MDA, who I just found out through watching these games is actually Bornick Dies, who is a TP reg, who's been a TP reg actually for 2 years, 3 years. I'm not really sure, but this first game wasn't really much of a surprise. Nothing really much of a surprise. Precorfish easily had this in the bag. Talonflame was just doing kills left, right, and center. There was a double flinch on turn one, which I'll show you right now. This double flinch by the Landorus against the Nidoking and Aerodactyl, which was pretty unfortunate as Aerodactyl would have killed the Talonflame. Nidoking would have done some damage to these two right here, but that crit, no, but that flinch absolutely mattered. The rest went into Precorfish's favor. There was nothing really Hornet Dice couldn't do. Especially he had a Chatot in the back, which is really weird. Overall, he had a really weird team to bring against a pretty strong team in Precorfish's. Game 2 went about as unfairly as you could imagine. Because Bornick Dice brought broken Regigigas without neutralizing gas against. No, with neutralizing gas, sorry, against the rest of these monsters, and you'd think, okay, he's got this thing got low kick, especially to deal with the Regigigas, but it's fine. He's got Iron Head to deal with that. Nothing happens. There's the Heat Crash reveal, which, wow, you really didn't expect Regigigas to carry Heat Crash, but then again, you've been fighting a lot of like Kartanas and Genesects and all that. That you would think that Regigigas is Heat Crash was definitely necessary. There's the the Pyro Ball miss to the Regigigas, which is unfortunate, as Weezing wouldn't have any much things to deal with against Cinderace, who would slowly chip this in order to die. Very unfortunate there. And in the end, Bornick Dice picked up a W in the process. 1v1 1v1 was strange. 1v1 was a lot stranger than you'd think. You see the Gyarados here against Slowbro. Gyarados Mega Evolve, Slowbro also Mega Evolve. Why he went for Dragon Dance? Okay. It went for Iron Defense. Okay. Why did he go for Outrage? Why did he go for Outrage instead of Crunch? I mean, surely against Meloetta and against Charizard, you would think Gyarados would have the absolute matchup done when he had Mega Gyarados out against every single one of Precorfish's team, who basically just died to Mega Gyarados. Outrage, really? That was one of the builds you got? I always put my Gyarados with Crunch because it just hits hard and it just lowers defenses, which is nice. Also, it doesn't help that the fact that you get hit by Confusion a lot for poor Bornick Dies, which is kind of haxy and out of the question there. Slowbro just tanks a lot of the hits, and in order for that, Bornick Dies easily died to a Slowbro because it just kept stalling and walling and ultimately picked up the win. So yeah, kind of a misplay there for Bornick Dies and kind of unfortunate to end to his pretty cool run, pretty decent run, I guess. He had pretty easy opponents, not gonna lie. Well, not easy as in, you'd think from the level of play that you've seen, Bornick Dies would have a decent advantage over it, but poor Corfish easily the better player, and well deserved to be in the top four. Not gonna lie, a dominant performance like this was sorely needed, and Corfish definitely earned the right to be in the top four. And now for the other two matches that were, the highlights, as anyone would think, if they know these players all too well. First of all, Doron versus Floir. Triples was pretty interesting. I kind of like the first turn of this, where Smeargle just outright went for Dark Void. basically offset some of the hits here. Sylveon had Conkeldurr knocked out, which is pretty nice. Choice Spec Sylveon, always a nice addition. Um, Smeargle, Stealth Choice didn't really do much. Got killed right at the beginning. Although I will say though, the discharge to kill Aldino was fine. I think that was Doron's intent. However, what Slowbro does here is amazing and could not be replicated again, if I may be honest. Yeah, Sylveon got paralyzed, which is also kind of fortunate. Also gets paralyzed as well, so that was unfortunate hacks on Stitch's part. But the wake up and then the blizzard killing Lando and Smeargle. Wow, I cannot believe that it actually happened, and ultimately Floor lost by that point because everything else died to Thunderous. You got the Talonflame right here, getting the Earthquake set up, and then Thunderous just basically did the kill on everything. So yeah, well done to Doron for that great that Slowbro play. That was definitely the unexpected one to be quite frank. And yeah, very unexpected. Also, but credit where credit is due because I love the Professor Layton avatar. Anyway, game two, doubles. Stitch had a nice setup, honestly. Flora had a pretty interesting set of uh this thing. First of all, neutering the fake out, which was absolutely needed, and then going for the smart strike on the Cortana, which would have killed uh Sylveon pretty easily. But he went for weakness policy Mandibuzz. Let me ask you, why? I get the strat, okay? I do get the strat. My only question is why Mandibuzz? Why Mandibuzz and not another sweeper? Because Mandibuzz, well, admittedly, Mandibuzz has some pretty cool attack, and when weakness policy definitely helps that, it's just the fact that Mandibuzz didn't really have a place in 2v2 double. It really isn't like the best mon to choose other than the rest of the mons, which you could have had Kieran Black and it would have absolutely shredded the competition. But no, I think it's because it has weak armor, which some mons get that much better than Mandibuzz. More mons utilize weak armor more than freaking Mandibuzz. Okay, that's all I'm saying. So yeah, Sylveon tanks a hit from Cortana Smart Strike, and Incineroar just basically killed it. Weak armor is nice, I guess, but doesn't really help much when you're just getting trounced by Doron's Incineroar and Cortana, which admittedly was a better matchup, but still kind of a iffy, kind of a oh boy, that's not the best choice. That wasn't the best choice. An Excadrill and Tyranitar, which you had in the back, would have been a much better thing to counter than Cortana and Incineroar. But I'm just nitpicking at this point. Good job for Doron making it into the top four. Stitch, unfortunately, is in top eight, which is still a nice placement. And finally, we get to Tenebricide versus Euphanos. Oh boy, this matchup is purely interesting. First off, is this triples game, which features a lot of rock slide. This match was purely a lot of rock slide. This one's this one's rock slide at the wazoo. Like every single mod had basically. I think these are all banded as well. These are all choice banded a rock slide. It's purely a rock slide, but like, what the like I get rock slide being at the center of the mod, but all three really? Okay. Okay. Euphanos basically had the better matchup. Honestly, like after a lot of rock slide damage being just heavy on this game, you've basically had left with sand offense, while Tenebricide didn't have really anything to deal with that. So Euphanos got the win there. Doubles, man, just the level of set play that happened in this doubles game. First off, we got the fake out. We got the shift gear. This gets the Draco Meteor, which, alright, Incineroar can take a hit like that. Critical hit on the Naganadel, which is interesting, but here's a real kicker. Knockoff, and you see TR-43. Okay. Okay. Incineroar, it's left to an Incineroar versus Incineroar play. Euphanos had acrobatics, not Flare Blitz. Why not? At least that was stab. This one basically just outperformed the other Incineroar. Yeah. Tenebrosite took this to a game 3, which, you know, ended in the most anticlimactic of ways. Genesect versus Agrons. Agrons make it sturdy, didn't really take that big of a hit against the flamethrower, which actually took a chunk out of Agron. Fire Punch, which is okay, nice move to have, but if he had Rock Polish, I think Euphanos would have absolutely had a chance. Well, actually no, because Genesect would still lived the hit, did the flamethrower, easily died. So yeah, this was not a very good ending to Euphanos' game, which is a shame because Euphanos I really wanted to make finals. Unfortunately, this was the road that he chose to go through. And you know what? Credit to him, he still did amazingly against other competitors. Certainly, the gimmicks did not disappoint. And I want to see more of them coming TPP, please. Um, but yeah, that was the end of Euphanos' run, and Tenebrosite moves on to the Elite Four. Predicciones. We got the top four, and we got a very good male as the chosen tier. Gen 4 OU plus Camamons is something I want to see represented. Gen 4 is a fantastic meta, and adding Camamons to it just makes it even better. So, these are the top four competitors. Shadow Master, the TP Reg, you could say he is deserving or not so after the road he has of all TPC. But you know what? Top four is still a cred. It's still a street cred that you could absolutely brag to your friends about. And the rest earn their way to the top four. Doron, good player, very well deserved to be in the top four. Tenebrosite as well, awesome. Awesome player. Getting in the top four is very nice. And also, he is a good player. He has a freaking custom for God's sakes. You know he's good. And for Corefish, the unsung dark horse. Actually, out of all the four, I think Percorfish is the easily like the one people would say least likely win TPC apart from Shadow Master. But this is certainly going to be an interesting finals, and I would love to see who would win here. Doran versus Shadow Master. This one goes to Doran very easily, better player. And then Tenebrosite versus Percorfish. Tenebrosite wins here. So I'm expecting the finals to be Doran versus Tenebrosite, and I really hope I catch that game live. I really hope. But you know what? Even if I didn't, I'll still be covering that. So thank you all for watching. I know it's a kind of a short video, but we're getting into the final stretch here, so the videos are absolutely going to get shorter and shorter. Next week we'll cover the semifinals and probably the finals as well. I think just for time's sake and just for convenience sake, I will do the finals as well as the semifinals as well. So my official prediction for finals, I think Doran should absolutely win it all. Thank you all for watching. Please like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe to get that notification so you wouldn't miss videos once they come out. See you next time for the semifinals and finals recap. Just oh, just general end of tour or consistency. Maybe some awards, maybe some not. I'm not sure. However, I will say this. Thank you for watching. This has been Mikoi, signing out.